Okay, so we are rolling. This is our PlodCast number 2, isn't it?
Number 2, yeah.
Number 2 PlodCast. Yeah, let's not have any crap jokes. Let's not crash. So yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since our last podcast.
It's about that, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? Anything glamorous?
Well, Sunday went to the Film Reel Festival.
Film Reel. Oh, the Real Indies.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that one quite well.
Well, you were there.
I was there. I was pressing play on the projector. Best way I know how. How do you think it was received by the audience? Well, actually, what were the 3 films that were screened?
Well, the 3 films were, it was Day of the Stranger, which was a sort of weird, warped cowboy film, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was multi-layered, wasn't it? That was
it was a bit. The only bit that I didn't like was the high pitch sounds.
Oh right, yeah.
That went straight through my head.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. So sort of a synopsis of Day of the Stranger. How would you? I mean, it was described as an acid western, which I think is pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty much. It's basically he's sort of like from what I gather, he's like a bounty hunter, and he gets some bounty or something. He meets this. He's got to go after this other cowboy, but which turns out to be the devil by the looks of it.
Yeah, because he lives on a mountain and he's called a trickster or something, isn't he?
That's right, yeah.
And
he can sort of like hit targets with his gun without even looking, you know. And turns out that he's the devil, and the bounty hunter is already dead and he's in hell. So that's from what I gathered.
Yeah, and like his wife was getting raped. And
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. And there was the odd booby and
oh yeah, boobs always good.
The odd booby and the odd dangly thing.
Dangly things always good.
But no, the director. I was talking to the director, and he said something about it took about 6 years to make.
Wow. Yeah, because I've been working all day. I wasn't feeling particularly sociable, but I did have a quick chat with Tom Lee Rutter, in the director.
That's right, yeah.
And obviously, what I was interested in was when he said he was inspired by Michael J. Murphy. That was like, well, that's because he's not. How old would you say he was? He's not that old, is he? He don't look that old.
No, he looks like he's in his late 20s.
Yeah, you know. So I was thinking, well, that's quite cool. And for those that don't know, Michael J. Murphy was rather a prolific filmmaker who lived in Portsmouth, in North End, and in the 80s, in the video nasty era, made his reputation in that era, and then was kind of sort of being brought into the digital age, but unfortunately sort of passed away before he could sort of see his success. So if you go to http://mfi.digital, you can subscribe to the MFI Michael J. Murphy YouTube channel. That's not a plug at all, is it?
Not at all.
What were we saying? Oh, Tom Lee Rutter and Day of the Stranger. Yeah, so but actually that does sort of segue quite nicely into the second film, which was
Michael J. Murphy's Atlantis.
And how would you describe that one?
That's one of my favourites, to be honest, of these films that he made.
But it gets described as bonkers quite a lot.
Oh, it is bonkers, but it's bonkers in a fun way.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you got Atlantis, you got the Queen, and you got some sort of goblin king thing, and
the master.
The master, yeah. And you got Pat, who plays
Sartor. Bald guy. Yeah.
You know, and it's basically the master is the controller of Atlantis, and he's letting the Queen run Atlantis, and she's like prisoners to dig the mines to get more. Is it skull crystals or something like that?
Well, the crystal skull was I don't know what the character's name was, but Debbie. I can't remember her surname now. But you know, he worked a few times with Debbie, someone or other, because she's in Death Run as well, isn't she? And she's got a crystal skull which the master obtains, much to her demise. But yeah, no, the bloodstone thing. Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, that blood redstone thing.
Yeah.
And then it fuses with the crystal skull, and he's even more powerful. And he's born again and stuff. And the Sartor time travels at the end. And, it's bonkers.
It is. It's
in a good way.
Yeah.
And it's got some really sort of cute special effects in it and stuff. I mean, it was made in 1990. Oh, it's the 30-year anniversary, wasn't it? I think. So it must be 1990. It was released originally. We actually screened. It was remastered for DVD in 2010 or so, and that's the version we screened, which is not available on YouTube at the moment because YouTube keeps moaning that it's a duplicate video, even though it's different.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's the version that got screened. I personally think Atlantis kind of stole the show on the evening.
I think it did, yeah, definitely.
However, the final film in the sort of not really trilogy, is it? In the
marathons.
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever you want to call it. It's loosely themed. I mean, you could say it's loosely themed around Michael J. Murphy, with obviously Tom being inspired by Michael J. Murphy.
Yeah, and
the middle film Atlantis was by Michael J. Murphy, and then the third film
was a joint production with Merlin Films International, which was owned by Michael J. Murphy, and that was Fixer, which is a political sort of like
thriller, really.
Thriller, yeah. It's based on a one of those 5-minute film challenge things. I'm not sure if it's DV Mission or something else, but
so what would you say that's about? Like a
no one's doing that sign. Transload.
A political fixer. All right. Well, this is not a gender equality chat.
No, I know. I was just made me laugh. Like, oh, there's loads of trans in there.
Yeah, we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah. So that's where they come from. So, yeah, it's a political thriller. Thomas Chalk, who's played by Pat Oliver, he wants to basically become the councillor of Portsmouth.
Well, it's not named as Portsmouth, is it? It's
it's not. No,
I don't think so. It's a metropolitan area, a generic city that is Portsmouth, basically. It was filmed in Portsmouth.
Yeah. And she wants to become a councillor in, like an MP in Parliament, I guess. And he basically sets his fixer to take out the competition. And
yeah, I mean, it's quite. It's quite brutal in areas as well. Quite brutal. It's a big bump in the road. I don't know what's happened to my shock absorbers. Because unlike other talking in a car programs, I'm actually driving. I'm not getting pulled by whatever they call it, a trailer. so I have to actually pay attention.
And we're not singing either.
I actually have to pay attention or I will crash. What were we saying? And I lose track of what we were talking about because obviously I'm concentrating on the traffic.
He basically gets his do-goody to do all his dirty work and get rid of the competition, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil it, so you'll have to.
Yeah, and I thought it came across really well on the big screen, that one, because I had seen it previously, a private screening at Trash Arts HQ, which was basically just Sam's desktop computer. And
yeah,
I thought it came across. I thought it came across okay in that format, but on the big screen, I think it works a lot better. Just big sound, big picture.
Yeah.
Because it's of the Trash Art stuff. It's probably one of the most cinematically shot. There's not like blood in every scene, is there? It's like it's a bit more. There's a bit more intrigue at work, I think. Or in less supernatural stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that stuff, but it is more of a based in reality or object reality. How would you describe it? So well worth a watch, well worth tracking that down when it gets. Has it been picked up by a distributor? Do we know that one?
Not that I know of, not yet. No.
Okay. Because I don't know if it will go to Dark Side because it's probably not horror enough, is it?
No.
Yeah. So that sums up the first real indies. First real Indies Film Festival, which was at the Wedgwood Rooms in Southsea in Portsmouth on Sunday the 16th of February 2020
at 5 p.m.
It was at 5 p.m. till about 10:30, 11.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, no, good evening.
I enjoyed it.
So beyond that, what else have you been up to?
Well, last night I had a little adventure down at the walk-in centre down St Mary's.
What happened? Was anything?
It wasn't anything serious. It's my sinuses on the right side of my face basically went poof. Yeah.
Oh well.
And my face blew up like the Elephant Man.
Oh word.
And basically phoned up the NHS, not hotline, the NHS
triple one, is it?
111, and they basically said it sounds like I've either got an infection or they need to be drained.
Oh nice.
And I thought, that's all I bloody need. And so we go down there, 3-hour wait.
NHS, nice.
Yeah. Get called in. They start prodding about in my face, which absolutely killed. And they said, "Oh yes, you have got a lot of fluid in there, and your sinuses have swelled up, and they need to be drained."
So by fluid, is that like snot?
Basically, yeah, sort of.
Nice.
And so they did it there and then, because I literally thought they were going to do it at the hospital, but they did it there and then.
How do they do that? Like stick it, pop it, or what?
No,
what they do? Well, pop and squeeze.
He pulled out this sort of like, well, first of all, he put this thing up my nose and sprayed this numbing spray up my nose, and that was really uncomfortable. But
I guess it then means what they do next time.
Yeah, it's got something like an antiseptic spray. Not an antiseptic spray, what do they call it? Anaesthetic spray.
Right, yeah.
And of course that killed for a little while. And then he pulled out this, which seemed to look like a catheter tubes. And I thought, hang on, what's going on here? Hang on. And it was basically like a tube that you use to fit a catheter. And he says, right, I'm going to put this up your nose. And I'm thinking, no, you bloody ain't. So I let him do it, and he put it up my nose, which came out to like a little balloon, which opens up the swelling,
right,
to drain.
Oh.
And then he had this I don't know what it was, water, or I can't remember what it was, or some sort of like liquid that he was sort of like pushing in, which was washing out the sinus pocket.
Right.
And I could feel it in my cheeks swashing around. And lasted about 5 or 6 minutes, the whole thing. And then he pulled it out, and then
did you get to see the fluid?
Well, sort of, yeah, because he pulled it out and then put his little tin tray under my nose, and I was sort of leaned forward, and it all came gushing.
Oh, that sounds.
So I popped in a cup of tea and drank it.
Night out.
No, I didn't.
So yeah, we've arrived at the hill. Are the chips still on you, or we got to negotiate? For the record, you could say you're going to buy them and then not buy them.
Yeah, I'm gonna. No, I said I'll buy them, so I'll buy them.
Well, that's the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
I have it on record that Robbie is buying chips. I'll give you an update next time.